Xin chào mọi người đã quay trở lại với talk show của Advertising Việt Nam. What is character marketing?
We need to imbue the life into the character design.
So how about the B2B marketing?
Not the matter of like
The B2B or B2C?
Yeah.
Và trong tập phát sóng ngày hôm nay của chúng ta sẽ cùng tìm hiểu về chủ đề character marketing. Thì Trung đã mời đến trường quay hôm nay là anh Shinto đến từ Minto Agency.
Nếu bạn nhận ra những nhân vật này, đó là vì những bộ sticker này sở hữu đến 5 tỷ lượt tải trên toàn thế giới và 50 triệu lượt tải mỗi tháng qua Line, Facebook Messenger, WeChat, WhatsApp. Tất cả những nhân vật này được mang đến cho bạn bởi Minto, agency character marketing đầu tiên tại Đông Nam Á.
Thì Trung xin phép được làm buổi talk show hôm nay bằng tiếng Anh để trao đổi với khách mời dễ hơn.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Shinto Okukawa. I'm from Minto, Vietnam and Thailand.
Thank Mr. Shinto for joining us today. Before we start, can you introduce about yourself a little bit with Advertising Vietnam audience?
Okay, so I started my first career at a company called Quan. Quan was originally before Minto. Like we changed the name actually after merging our company in January 2022 this year.
Okay.
And what Quan did was actually taking care of a lot of creators in-house to create more of our digital contents and character contents on social media and stuff. But at first, when I started my career, I started from developing a smartphone game at Quan. So I was kind of our assistant manager at the smartphone game developing team and had a little bit of experience in there for I think almost 1.5 years, and I started another task or job about selling the stickers to other chat platforms globally, like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, those kind of like big chat players in the world. Yeah. And after like 3 years of my career in Japan, I moved to Thailand because I lived in Thailand for almost 15 years right now. And launching a new business branch in Thailand of Minto, formerly known as Quan. And in 2021, we opened the next branch in Vietnam because of a lot of things going on in Vietnam. And we all think that the Vietnam market is very, very interesting for especially like digital contents growth and character marketing and stuff.
So right now you manage both Vietnam and Thailand market?
Exactly, yes. Exactly the position name is like Southeast Division Director. So I have a mission to open a lot more like branches. Like what we are looking right now is in Malaysia and Indonesia, especially where our characters are becoming popular. We think that's the main opportunity for us to build the business there.
So back on the story about your company, the Minto, right? This about focus on character marketing. So can you explain a little bit of what is character marketing?
Okay, so when we talk to the marketing agency or clients about this character marketing, there's a misconceptual understanding a little bit about what is character marketing. Most of people perceive the character marketing as just similar types of like a KOL marketing or influencer marketing or just like using a celebrities as a brand ambassador. But our definition of the character marketing isn't like that. We're not utilizing what the famous character has, but we built the character of their brand to utilize those characters becoming as a communication tool for the brand to be able to communicate with the consumers. So in short, when we talk about character marketing, it's about the brand personification, I think. That's the kind of like a clear definition for us to explain about the character marketing. How we make the brand into like a human, right? It's not just a design, but we need to imbue the life into the character design, making it be able to communicate with the consumers on social platforms.
So, after set up the company in Thailand and why you set up in Vietnam, what the opportunity you saw in the Vietnam marketing landscape and the potential role for character marketing?
Well, actually, it's not about marketing or character marketing yet, but like in the first place, our Vietnam GDP was growing, right? During even in the outbreak of the COVID, while like Thailand and a lot of other countries are expected to decrease the GDP growth, but Vietnam was still the plus. And we thought that there's a big business opportunity going to happen in there. And when I look deeper into the market, we saw a lot of brands are utilizing a fictional character on the Facebook page that having like over 1 million of followers, like let them promote their products or brands on the cartoon like contents.
Yeah.
Right. This kind of trend happened in Thailand and China before. Even it's happening in Japan as well. Why? In Japan, it's a little bit different. They are very used to character marketing already. But in Thailand and China, when it happened, the thing that happened afterward is brand wish to have our own character. They don't wish to use the famous character anymore because those big brands usually want to own their own stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And it's much easier for them to control like their own character because when the character is designed perfectly, like aligned with the consumer needs, what is the target like insights and stuff, it's gonna be like accurately communicate with those people, right? So when brand discover this kind of stuff, a lot of brands start to make. So I think this kind of trend will happen in Vietnam as well.
Okay. So when should marketers start with the character marketing campaign, and what's the misperception for brand when they create the character marketing campaign?
Well, basically like character marketing, like my definition of character marketing, as I told you, is like building a character, designing a character for the brand itself. And most of our brands that wish to have that kind of like character for their marketing communication is our FMCG or financial product, stuff like that, where there's two different things. If they have our consumers, like end users, it's really easy for them to have a character to communicate. Like it's kind of a bypass for the brand to communicate with the consumers. Because if you think about like you making your friends, right? You don't really want to make friends with like a faceless person, right? Like you want to see their face and like talk to them, right? So character is very, very like perfect suit for that kind of stuff. And we have a way to build about the personality of the character, how these characters should be communicating with the consumers, like way of speaking, tone, mood and tone of like talking of those characters, right? But while those FMCG products, the simple products, why I'm saying about the financial products is because financial products is often like a high involvement type of product where people need to digest a lot of information to understand what the service is. So in Thailand, like we did this kind of like complex kind category of the product, which is energy company. They want to explain about how they help the environment and how to set the mindset of the people to take care of the environment. But this kind of information is just like a financial product. It's very complex and it's a little bit boring for people who don't really understand what's the details of this kind of stuff. So that's why we brought up the mascot character to explain in a very short storyline, like it was kind of like a comic format. Let them understand why they should take care of the environment. And this kind of contents of mascot storytelling contents often perform about 1.5 to 2 times higher engagement comparing to non-character contents, but talking about the same topic, right? And also like in the video contents, it proved that in our project, it make the video retention, the watch retention rate increase about 33% compared to non-character like video contents. So I think the character can be like a attention catcher, but at the same time it can be a good communicator to convey what the brand will wishing to tell. And when it comes to very complex stuff, it can make it a lot more like a simple way and interesting way, I think.
So at your point of view, that character marketing is suitable for FMCG and financial market. So how about the B2B market? I mean,
okay, that's a really interesting question, and a lot of B2B brands came to us recently, especially in Thailand, that is it really applicable for the B2B business? That's a big question actually, and we're still finding answer for that actually. But when we look around our market, right? For example, why they concerning about that kind of stuff? Because people might think that character is a childish. Sometimes it's maybe for kids, if maybe it's for like it might make untrustworthiness. That's kind of concern bring up like B2B business is not applicable for the character marketing, right? But what about like thinking about the Michelin? Right, Michelin, what was the name of the character? The Bibendam, I think, the white tire one. They were actually like very, very first of the company who started using their own character in the marketing communication. But they also do the B2B stuff too, right? Their tire and stuff. And they often use they are still using in their creative like a Bibendam, like there's like a hand of the Bibendam at the corner of the road, and then like he's kind of protecting people to going out from the corner and stuff like that, like prevent the crash and stuff. So I think it's not the matter of like
B2B or B2C.
The character is the childish or character is mature. It's not the topic that we need to talk. It depends on how we design it, I think.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So based on your point of view, when the brand create the character marketing campaign, so they should start with their own character, or they use all the character based on KOL influencer as well.
So I think in the modern business world, I would say no. Reason is, if you started to use these kind of like famous people, KOL, KOL is maybe not that serious, but especially the celebrity, if you make a character based on them, what will happen in the after is about the licensing, right? Rights owner will be, half of them could be like a celebrity, or maybe like 100% will still remain in the celebrity, where brand cannot use that character like 100% free. Like whenever they have to use the character, maybe they have to ask a permission for the celebrity
and resign the contract.
That's gonna be a nightmare, right? And the idea of like we encourage brand to have a mascot character is, I don't want them to be feeling that kind of stuff, right? Like it's really like headache, because we are licensor, we own our character, a popular character, that a lot of brands won't wish to use our character, but then we know that how hard to work together. Like we know what they want and we know what we cannot do, right? For our characters, like there's so many regulations. Then most of clients or a lot of brands wish to have their own mascot, but if they produce the character from the KOL or a celebrity, that's the same stuff again. So I don't really recommend to do that. But talking back about the story of how Japanese people or Japanese brands making a character back then, like 18th century or 19th century back then, they actually started from the KOL or so-called like celebrity, like very famous people, like making into the character of the brand, kind of sort of like ambassador before. Like for example, in Japan there was a very, very famous sumo player, like sumo, the sports player at that time. They used him into the brand logo or sometimes. Or like there's some sort of like medicine, they use the famous doctor face into that like logo, brand logo and stuff. So originally our like Japanese way of like making a character started from the human, so we use like celebrity. But nowadays we're like people aware of like how the licensing business works. I don't think it's a good idea to start from the KOL or celebrity unless they can give us the full rights to us.
In the other hand, if we use the character from real people like KOL influencer, it will save time for brand, because that they have the brand name already, they have their famous, they have their fan
popularity,
they have popularity, so it saves time a lot for brand. Maybe if they create the character from zero, they have the time to promote their character, maybe 1 year, 2 and 3 years.
That's
if they
true.
use the famous people, just a month, and then everybody know that. So what is your point of view?
So I think another point that celebrity collaboration will kill the mascot is there's pros and cons, all the strategy, right? But you know, if you think about the celebrity usually have like a season, right? Like some people will get so famous in the duration, like a specific duration. They play the movie or they have songs, stuff like that. And once it ends, it's gone, right? Or there's also one risk that they might have a scandal, like big scandal, like, and what if that kind of scandal can affect the character? Of course it's gonna affect, right? Like this is the character made of this guy. A lot of people talk about like bad thing about him. Of course the brand image will be decreased too. So it's uncontrollable. I think that's the key word for the celebrity collaboration. That's why we think we should like separate it out from the character.
Okay. So right now that consumer demand more from brand and marketing campaign, especially personalizing content and user experiences. So how brand specialized like mascot can go well with like conversational marketing campaigns?
When we think about like our personalized communication, it's basically about like tailor-made contents or like contents that made specifically for specific people, like target audience, right? And I think that's one way of like communication, right? These days, like we talk about like one-on-one communication, and a lot of consumers want to feel like very close to the brand. That's why like they form the community, and brand owns like a strong community will win the market, right? And I think the story behind of this is basically like more and more products becoming at the very like similar quality, and they're providing in the similar price. And what will happen then? Like what will differentiate those brands to the other competitors is that if they can make a deeper relationship with the consumers. And as a character marketing, I feel that character is, like I explained in the very beginning, like it's going to be a communication tool, like a bypass, like making a brand to have a face of the brand, right? So if we set the personality of the character right and fit to the whatever the audience they have, I think this character can convey the brand message and easily communicate with the target audience, like what they like about, what the life of the consumer look like, what hobby they like. We can understand this kind of behavior, like data on the social media these days, right? So we let the mascot speak about that. For example, like maybe some of the brand has fans that a lot of fans like to discuss about like cosmetic stuff like makeup and stuff, maybe this character started to teach the the makeup and stuff, but this character never get old, so you can use this character forever, right? Like like talking about like makeup, but like last 5 years and next 10 years this character still look the same. If the design look the old, maybe we can adjust the design just to catch up with the trend. So I think that's a lot of like benefits for the character that brand can utilize in the personalized communication. Like we can customize however we want.
Okay, so let's talk about the hot trend right now. It's about metaverse. Metaverse. So what do you think about the character marketing campaign or character marketing in general with metaverse? There are any like common thing between character marketing with metaverse?
Metaverse can be a big opportunity for those brands who invest in the character marketing faster than the others, because it's happening, but it's not the common stuff yet, right? Like not everyone can afford the VR gear set to dive into the metaverse and stuff. Not everyone has a good PC or laptop to be able to play the metaverse game. So what I mean here is, in a long span, like 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead, it's going to become much more common than right now, and everyone is more stay connected with the internet like than right now with the smartphone. At that time, a lot of people will have their own avatar on their metaverse, right? And I think in research of Japan, like they expect to have about 20 to 30 different avatars per person in the future. So if you guys invest in the brand mascot right now and have a defined like design of their brand communicator, you can use this mascot into the metaverse world, right? Maybe you can make a limited version of the avatar of your brand mascot for people to use it. And when people use it, people walk around the metaverse, people will see this mascot. It's already advertising. Right? So I think metaverse is like another like channel for mascot to be shine, I think. Like in the Web 2.0, like it was about the social media and how the internet communication got a lot richer than like Web 1.0, right? But in the Web 3.0, I think it's going to be more richer, but I think it's more like a freedom in a way of communication than right now, because there is no single like platformer who owns and control everything. So people can freely go a lot of platforms like with their own avatar, and avatar can be shared, which means brand has a mascot, avatar mascot of the brand can be exposed in a lot of platforms that they use, I think.
So Sumito have any plan for integrated with like AI and VR version of mascots?
Yes, we already started, and we partner with one of the biggest metaverse company called Sandbox. And
it's a Microsoft collaboration.
Sandbox, and we are a good friend of the Sebastian, the CEO of the Sandbox, and we created the voxel art of our characters and selling the NFT on the Sandbox, and the reputation was very good.
So what should the brands pay attention when creating the character marketing campaign? So what is your suggestion or advice for marketers?
Okay, so I think every marketer already know about it. It's very fundamental stuff, but know your audience. Because a lot of brands still think that character marketing is just like a design of some sort of like artworks and stuff. So I saw this trend in every country, right? Like even Thailand or China. Like client just want the design. Sometimes they come to us, can you make character design? And we explain about the character design, but they just want that character in just a week, right? That's not possible. If you make a fine character design, it's not something that you can make in 1 week, because when you think about the strategic planning that all the marketer usually make to make for the brands to be able to communicate with the consumers, it takes so much time to research, right? Understanding an audience, what is the brand story, a lot of stuff, information is supposed to be strategically like planned in one single execution planning, right? Character is the same, because why this character is supposed to be a cat? We need to have a reason. If it's a cat and the consumer doesn't like cat, what will happen, right? Like, it's very, very simple stuff like into that, but we are talking about much deeper than that, because we need to design how this character communicate to the consumers as well, right? It's not something like only the appearance, but also building a personality and the story of those characters. So we need a lot of research, and we need to understand consumer behavior and insights. So I would say the simple word is like, understand the audience first. And what is your objective by using this mascot character, and where you want this character to be in, like channels and distribution and stuff. Yeah.
So in short, that character marketing is not just about creating the character. It's a full long-term strategy.
Yes, exactly.
If brand just want to draw something like the cat, and they can hide the people just around it. That's all.
Yeah.
But I think that the character marketing should take time and long time.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of our client in Thailand, PTT, one of biggest energy company, has been investing in their brand mascot for I think more than 12 years now, and the reason they keep investing it is because like they perceive the character as assets of the brand, like brand assets, right? So I think not only the design that like you can make a character like one day with the freelance designer, and like you put on all the advertising materials, like whatever you like, you know, like it's so annoying that like why this character is here, and people might remember, but they never remember the name, because there's no story, no communication happen between the character and the consumers.
So thank you very much for being here with Advertising Vietnam.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.